Okay, so String Prodigy, last week he shouted out the tune Whippersnapper by Wayne Krantz, and last week I did a video on this lick which goes... And there was one other lick which really jumped out at me, which was kind of different and has a load of edge and just sounds really cool. And so basically the reason I think you might want to learn this lick is to learn about how other scales other than like the Dorian or minor pentatonic can work in the context of a D minor kind of fusion vamp. So that's kind of where we're living for this tune. But when it comes to kind of some outside sounds, what can we do? So in this initial lick, you've got that kind of chromaticism. And we've also got the E minor arpeggio. So we talked about that, you know, like an E minor and a D minor can go together as triad pairs to get that Dorian sound. In the lick that I'm talking about now, we start off with this, which is very much coming from this whole tone scale. You don't really hear this played a lot generally in music. You might hear it, you know, in film music and stuff like that. It's kind of got that sound of like a transitional phase, you know, if you were going into a dream sequence or whatever. That's basically the sound of the whole tone scale. So it's kind of like the first phase of the lick. So what are we doing? We're kind of descending from the 12th fret on the E so that might be a fun kind of sequence to get better at in all keys. And we're starting on the second semi-quaver of a bar as well, so like on the 1E and so we're on the E1. So all of that is very much just whole tone. I think he might be doing something like this. So I think there's a slide. The way that I'm finding it more comfortable to play is without the slide. And then we go to this kind of area, so starting on a C. So from a C to a B to a B flat to a D. So kind of back to the whole tone stuff with the D, F sharp, G sharp. Some kind of just chromatic stuff from the E to the F to the F sharp to the G sharp. And then we get this kind of bebop, kind of Pat Metheny-ish thing, kind of a bebop cliche. And then up to the D, back down the whole tone scale. So that's back down the whole tone scale. And then we enter into like a phase of kind of F melodic minor. And then back out. So that's the whole lick. The whole tone scale and also the F melodic minor scale are perfectly valid scales according to Wayne that we can play over this D minor vamp. So you could try this with the backing track and stuff, which I'll link in the description as well. I've put up like a long extended backing track with this at different tempos so you can try some of these things. So the whole lick goes like this. 1, again, so slowly. So quite a chunk of information to learn and get under your fingers, but gradually I'm kind of getting there. So that was my takeaway from it though. You can use kind of D minor pentatonic with this vamp, you can use D Dorian, or you can use these really exotic sounding scales like F melodic minor, or even you could use something more outrageous still like the whole tone scale, and you know, get some really cool outside sounds on what is relatively a simple vamp. So that's what I'm going to spend some time working on and trying to get that up to speed and figure out a way that I can play it. But yeah, a lot of information in that lick, and you know, really quite tricky to play, but I think worth it probably. So I'll try and put this together in the intro and play this a couple of times and see if I can get that to work. I'll put the tab for this up on Patreon if you want it, and the backing track as well, as always. But thank you for stopping by. Hopefully that was useful or interesting to a couple of people. So that's what you could play over a D Dorian or D minor kind of vamp. You could play this D minor pentatonic. You could play D Dorian. You could play that kind of F melodic minor. Or you could play that D whole tone, and you know, or a combination of all of them like in this lick. But yeah, catch you in a bit.